Over the years, I have noticed something interesting about homeschooling. When mothers first start homeschooling, there's usually a lot of excitement. There's vision, there's energy, and there are all of these ideas about what homeschooling is going to look like. But somewhere along the way, for a lot of families, that joy starts to disappear. And it's never because the mother stopped caring. It's because the homeschool days are chaotic and they start to feel so draining. You're having to constantly remind your children what to do. Assignments are half finished. Work and pencils get lost constantly. And you're never really sure what did and did not get done. And when that is happening day after day, week after week, and month after month, homeschooling feels absolutely exhausting, and it feels like the farthest thing from joy. But after 19 years of homeschooling and graduating 3 children, here is what I have learned. Joy doesn't come back from making homeschooling easier. And honestly, I'm not sure that you can make homeschooling easier. It is a hard job. It actually comes back when daily disciplines are in place. When your day has a rhythm, when the workload is clear, and when every single person knows what their responsibilities are and are not. When those systems are in place and they're humming along seamlessly in the background, homeschooling does actually start to feel fun again, and maybe for the first time. So these are the daily disciplines in our home that help to bring the joy back to homeschooling. Number 1, keep a short daily planning ritual. So joy in a homeschool rarely comes from spontaneity. It rarely comes from your friend texting you and saying, "Hey, want to meet at the park at 2 p.m.?" Instead, it comes from actually knowing what you're setting out to accomplish in any given day and then accomplishing what you set out to do. It's basically keeping your promises to yourself in your homeschool. So I have to be very proactive about this. I personally spend about 5 minutes the night before jotting down the things that I need to make sure to do to make sure that my homeschool is ready to take off at 8 a.m. in the morning. Whether that's printing out pages, whether that's making sure that I got work checked the day prior, whether that's making sure to have a little talk with one of the kids who may have had a bad attitude that day and make sure that they understand what the consequences will be if that behavior is repeated. It's laying the groundwork for success. When you already know what the plan is, you're going to be able to walk into the day prepared to face it instead of scrambling. Number 2, begin the school day with focus or a technology fast. So have you heard the trend, I'm taking a technology fast. I'm not using my phone or internet for a week or for a weekend or, whatever. Technology fast is one of those buzzword phrases nowadays. I'm going to propose something a little more radical. I'm going to propose that during your school hours, you don't use technology at all in terms of, your phone. Obviously, if the children have online classes or if they use different learning apps, obviously you're still going to use that. But I'm going to suggest that you not check your email, check your text, check social media during school hours. Take a technology fast every school day. I guarantee you that you will be more focused and you will be able to accomplish so much more as a homeschool mom with that renewed focus. And so I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there. If any of you decide to take me up on that, I would love to know how it goes in the comments. Number 3, require neat, careful work. So here's the thing. Sloppy work usually is a manifestation of sloppy and rushed thinking. If we want our children thinking intentionally about what they are supposed to be doing, whether that be math, whether that be copy work, whether that be composition, they need to have neat handwriting. This may mean that you need to go back and do some remedial work with pencil grip or with letter formation. But this is a hill that I am prepared to die on. Sloppy handwriting is not a good standard to allow in your homeschool. So I would encourage you to raise that standard and watch how it improves your child's learning processes. This is one thing, it'll probably be a battle at first. You're going to have to make your child redo some things. You might have to reteach some handwriting, but the kind of peace and joy that comes from neat, tidy work that your child is actually proud of, it cannot be fully expressed in this video. Number 4, read aloud every day. So this is truly one of the easiest, most simple ways to bring joy into your homeschool on the daily, and that is to have a daily read aloud time. I remember when I was in school, when our teacher would read to us after lunch for about 15 to 20 minutes, that was my favorite part of the day. Hearing stories, we were created to learn through hearing stories. And so making sure that you're always reading something engaging to your children is just one of the best ways to encourage a love of learning in your children. If you're not sure where to start, let me recommend Read Aloud Revival. She always has wonderful book lists, and she has good lists too of things that you can find on audiobook too. So if you don't necessarily have time, or I know sometimes my jaw gets so tired from reading. But it is an excellent resource. She has wonderful, wonderful storybooks listed. So check that out if you're not sure where to start. But reading aloud is an excellent way to slow down for yourself, give yourself a few minutes, but also to infuse joy into your children through the love of stories. Number 5, spend time outside every day. Okay, this is coming from a self-professed indoors person. I have never been much of an outdoors type girl. Even as a child, I would much rather be in the air conditioning reading a book than outside. But the benefits of spending time outside daily, even for mom, cannot be overstated. There's your body releases or is better able to use, I can't remember which one, nitrous oxide, which is like this, it gives you this happy feeling of well-being. I will never forget when I was pregnant with Mary Eleanor, my almost 2-year-old. For the first time ever, I experienced high blood pressure towards the end of my pregnancy, and I was supposed to be monitoring my blood pressure several times throughout the day. I realized that when I went and sat outside and tilted my face up to the sun and just sat there for 5 to 10 minutes, I would come inside and take my blood pressure reading, and it would be like 20 points lower. It is so good for you to spend time outside. So if that is something that you are not doing, mama, let me just give you the push from one indoors person to another. Go spend some time outside. You don't have to be running around. I mean, you could just sit there and read a book. You can read a book outside as easily as you can read a book inside. So let me just encourage you, step outside. And it's obviously fantastic for your children as well. Number 6, end the school day with closure. So before you set your children free for the day, take a look at those checklists. Is there anything on there that they forgot about? Make sure that they have put their books away. Make sure that they have put their school supplies away. Make sure that they have pushed in their chair. Taking a few minutes at the end of the day to make sure that all of these little details are attended to will make sure that you have a smooth start instead of a bumpy ride. It only takes 2 or 3 minutes to close the school day down properly, but it is a small habit that you'll be able to look over in that area and not see total chaos, which it does bring joy. Number 7, read something yourself every day. Okay, so children pay attention to what their parents value. So if you want your children to be lifelong learners and lifelong readers, they need to see their parents reading. So they need to see mom reading, and not just from her phone. You need to have some actual books, whether, whatever topic interests you. It does not matter. It could be gardening. It could be bird watching. It could be cooking. It could be, there's so many things. Read some fiction, read some classic literature, but make sure that you're reading for yourself. That I'm a bookworm. So I can't imagine not reading. But even if you don't like to read, you should still be working on reading a little bit every day. It will enrich your life in so many ways. Number 8, notice progress out loud, preferably at the dinner table. Okay, so this is something that is so important, and I don't hear people talking about this nearly enough, but children are getting corrections all day long. Don't do that. Don't touch that. Do this instead. Blah, 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 blah. we need to make sure that when they are doing things well or doing things right, that they get recognition for that. So one of my favorite ways to do this is at the dinner table. When one of the children gets a really good score on their math from the day before, or when one of my children writes a really beautiful paper, or when one of my children goes above and beyond cleaning something up, does a really good job, or takes initiative in an area, I make sure that I am singing that child's praises at the dinner table to my husband, to their father, so that then their father can see all of these wonderful things that the children are doing. The children get this instant boost because they are being publicly recognized. And do you think that that is motivating to them? It absolutely is motivating to them. It's motivating hearing their mother say it, hearing their father give them recognition. Having that public recognition in front of all of their siblings, this cannot be, you've got to start doing this in your home. It is so important for your children. So if you haven't been doing that, just jot stuff down throughout the day. Look for things to praise them. Let's say that poor Johnny, he got, a bad grade on his math homework, and he had to spend a lot of time making corrections, and, it was a hard day for Johnny. If Johnny had a hard day with his math, make sure to look for something to praise Johnny about at the dinner table. Johnny may have had a really hard day with his math, but he may have had an excellent attitude about making those corrections, and he might have shown curiosity in the science lesson. Look for things. Johnny saw that the trash can was getting full, and he took the trash out without even being asked. So, we want to be praising our children on their good days, but if your child is having a bad day, go out of your way to notice something that they are doing really well and bring it up at the dinner table. This is an excellent way to give your children fat souls, as Nancy Wilson likes to say. I love that visual. We want to be creating fat souls with our children. And let me tell you, Mom, as a mother, this is going to give you joy as well, because you are going to see your child just glow with this praise. And it's an all-around fantastic exercise for the whole family, really. Number 9, focus on consistency, not perfection. So one thing that you really need to remember is joy in homeschooling does not come from having a perfect homeschool. It comes from the confidence that is built in showing up for your homeschool with your best every day, day in, day out, week after week, month after month, year after year. Okay? When you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I am showing up for my children and for myself daily. I am giving them my best. I am working hard to prepare. I'm working hard to be the teacher to these children that God gave to me, and I am doing it to His glory. When you do that, that consistency and that level of confidence in knowing that you really are doing your best, that creates joy. So if you are missing out on any of these areas, let me encourage you to start working them into your day, because your homeschool should be a joyful place. Your home should be a joyful place. Your children should be joyful. Your children's mother should be joyful. You should all have this joy. So if you're lacking in any of these areas, let me just give you a gentle push to try to integrate these into your homeschool. If you are having trouble with the consistency aspect, one of the best ways that I have found to fix that is through using checklists. This is why I created the homeschool checklist protocol, to make it really simple so that you hit on the right things and you put your checklist together with intention, so that those topics and those subjects and assignments can be done every school day. You know that it's done, you're seeing the progress, your children know what to expect, etc. If that sounds like something that you need in your homeschool, you can find the link for that in the description below. I will see you in the next video.